Hey, good evening, everybody. What's up? How are you doing? I hope you're having a great week. And thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of According to Sacha Podcast. You know, we're here with you well, not even every Thursday. I always say just Thursdays, right? So we're here on Thursday nights because we changed up some things. We're here with you on Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with amazing guests, amazing entrepreneurs, motivational speakers, creatives, authors, whatever they're doing, film producers, whatever they're doing in their world. We have them here on this show to talk about their business, their life, and whatever else they have going on. And so I thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for downloading, whether you're listening to the podcast or you're watching the podcast. I thank you for all your support because what you do for this platform, you do for everyone else who's on this platform. So I just like to spread the love, and I thank you for helping me spread the love for everyone that's here. And so you know what we got to go over, right? We got to go over the like, follow, and share. Like, follow, and share all of our platforms. They're scrolling all across the bottom. You know where we are. So make sure you do that. Make sure you tell your friends about us. Make sure you just continue to build this up here. And I really appreciate you. So I have a special guest tonight, and that is going to be Miss Coach Tip. She is an amazing woman. I mean, extraordinary woman working with women who have been impacted by injustice. So I know you're wondering, what does that mean, right? All right. Well, we're going to get into it with her, and she's going to tell you all about all of this. So, but before we get into our interview, we have one sponsor, and we'll go ahead and play that, and I'll be back with Coach Tip. See you in a few, guys.
The warning signs your body is giving you? Do you sometimes feel the need to act like everything is okay and that you don't need help? Are you facing some tough physical and mental health challenges that you just don't know how to face on your own? We created the Men's Empowerment Group as a safe place where men can share their thoughts and challenges while also receiving judgment-free advice from their fellow group members. You no longer have to pretend that everything is okay. It is okay to not be okay. This free forum provides discussions related to financing, health, relationships, and other struggles that men face in their everyday lives. There are 1 hour-long weekly sessions in addition to the open forum, where you can learn from others every Monday at 7 p.m. Please check us out, www.abundancelegacy.org, to register.
Entrepreneurship, small business, something that everybody would love to do, making their own money. And this is what we will be talking about on According to Sacha. Hey, Coach Tip.
Hello, Sasha. Happy Thursday. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. Well, happy Thursday to you too. And I appreciate you being here tonight. Thank you for showing up and gracing us with your presence. I love your yellow.
Thank you so much. You look beautiful as well. I love the locks.
Thank you, girl. Thank you. Appreciate it. You know, we got to show love on our show. You know, sometimes I bring people on, and I know I'm quite sure y'all wonder, like, they just give out compliments. They just talk like they know each other. But you know what? That's what it's all about. When you're building, when you're doing things, when you're out here in these entrepreneurial streets, it's good to, have people you can collaborate with, people that you get to know, business owners like yourself, whatever world they're working in or the industry. It's always good to have people that you can sit here and say, "Hey girl, how are you? You look beautiful." You got to hear those things, right? So
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for being that woman for us tonight, Coach Tip. So since I've had the pleasure of meeting you before and we had the opportunity to talk before we started the interview, I want you to tell all the listeners and watchers out there, who is Coach Tip?
Wow. Well, first and foremost, Sacha, thank you so much for just giving me the space and the opportunity to be a part of your platform. I've been following you for a little while now, so this is absolutely monumental to me. But to put it back in my direct lane, Coach Tip. So I am a social entrepreneur at its finest. I did what many did during what I call the pandemic in 2020. I decided to take a leap of faith and jump right into entrepreneurship head first. I would say feet first, but no, it was a head first dive for me. And what I did was I really poured into my husband. That was the first business that we created. And it really came from a very traumatic event that he experienced. He did lose his grandfather. And within that, we know how men are. They tend to channel their grief way differently from women, especially as minorities. We can talk about that, but the way he channeled his grief was through cooking. He's always been very passionate about making meals for others. He's worked as a chef for a number of years. And within that space, after we left the funeral, he started cooking. And what did I do as a millennial? I pulled out my cell phone and I hit record and I posted it to a social media. And before I knew it, I had individuals, jumping in my inbox and in my DMs. And they're like, "Hey, can your husband do this for me? Can he cook?" And I'm thinking, all right, we on to something. So with that being said, Flex Plates Meal Prep and Catering Company was birthed, and Flex Plates is literally, it is his passion project, but it is our small business baby, because we went through everything you could possibly think of being new entrepreneurs. Not only that, but being married, being partners in that. So has its whole other face to it. But we do specialize in making sure we provide healthy meals for pescatarians, flexitarians, also vegan and vegetarian. So that's the first business. But to get to why I'm here today, of course, I got bit by the bug. So I wanted to start up my own business. And I did just that in 2022. And the virtual doors opened for Career Values Coaching and Consulting firm. And my business is definitely more of entrepreneurial training, career development with life skills and professional development, resources. But I do have a niche, so I am very passionate about serving justice impacted individuals, but more primarily justice impacted women. So that is my passion project. I take it very seriously, and that has what is brought me to this space today. So I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. That's just so wonderful. I'm sitting here listening and thinking, okay, how am I going to unpack these things? Because you said a lot of great things. And the first thing I want to say is like, going back to the pandemic, and I love that you call it the pandemic, because if anybody really embrace that time of stillness in a way that will serve them, then that's one of the reasons you've seen so many businesses just pop up, and during that time frame people just took it and just ran with it. And I'm glad that you all found the way of being able to channel the depression into something that became a joy, and something that was uplifting, and you start to serve other people with the one greatest thing that you can give people, and that's what? Good food. That is wonderful. Quite sure, still honoring his grandfather with all that he's doing in that. So was there anything that he has cooked that was like maybe a favorite meal of his grandfather, or anything that he can honor with him with?
That is such a good question. So I honestly would say that he probably can't make his grandfather's favorite meal because his grandfather loved to we have the meats. But I will say that he does really, really great job with salmon. So we have the best, it's actually peach bourbon glazed salmon in the Southeast, and I can vouch for that. So that is something that is near and dear to both of us because we were raised in the South. So I was raised in Valdosta, Georgia. He was raised outside of Tallahassee, Florida. So again, just being a Floridian kind of by trade, you gotta know your way around the kitchen when it comes to seafood. And he has it down packed, and I'm always there to taste test. So it works out for me.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And and you work with the interesting, as far as like going into the career consulting and the entrepreneurship business aspect of what you do, and you work with a very special group of women and people. And so I'd like to get into that a little bit more about the people that you serve, the women that you serve, and what you do for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will say that just getting into it, that's pretty much what I'm also doing right now. But being a brand new, I guess, social entrepreneur and starting up in 2022, it certainly has opened my eyes to really carve out a niche. When I first opened my virtual doors, I was just very ambiguous and just thought, I have a big heart. I'm going to serve everybody. And in my heart of hearts, I knew that wasn't necessarily feasible. But again, it just goes back to my direct passion, which is serving others who are in need. So I can't really speak too fully about my experience as a career coach and consultant without talking about the background. because I wanted to be very tangible. I wanted to be very realistic. There's a lot of coaches out there. You got career coaches, business coaches, exercise coaches, there's mom coaches, like you name it, it's a coach out there for it.
Yeah.
However, with my background, I do want to provide some validity for those who are thinking about navigating that coaching space. It should definitely be an area of expertise, and that is what I feel that I bring to the industry of coaching. I've worked in proprietary education for 12 years, and all proprietary is working with allied health and trade schools and certificate programs. And through that lens, I was a career services manager. I also did admissions, and I also taught business. So I do have that formal understanding in the theory behind my belt as well. And I just realized that as I was teaching my students and getting so excited for their success and just championing them along the way, there was still a void where I wanted to do the same thing in return for myself, because I'm a very strong believer that you really can't speak on something unless you've been through it. And it was one thing to teach the modalities of business, but I wanted it to come from a place of experience, which of course is why I went ahead and went into business for myself. And as far as the lens of justice impacted, that's another story, but I will summarize it and I'll just say that within that justice lens, I had big goals and dreams and aspirations to become an attorney one day. And I started education and I got my associates in paralegal studies, went on to get my bachelor's in criminal justice. And then, of course, I had a life-altering situation happen to me. So with that being said, I'm also a justice-impacted woman. And what that means is someone who has been incarcerated before. And it doesn't matter if you did a year bid or went to prison or just spent the night in the county jail. When you are incarcerated, it's a mind shift. And it really does debilitate the way that you think and the way that you bounce back from adversity. So going through that, my heart kind of turned cold to the justice reform and just the justice legal system in general. But I knew I had to show up and be compassionate and give grace, because I'm really big on accountability. And I knew that the decision that I made was not the best one. So I had to roll up my sleeves, figuratively, but for real, and do the work and become out a law-abiding citizen on the other end. And individuals who are just really curious as to, what the incarceration is, I'm not going to go into that on this platform, but you're welcome to follow me on social media. I do have several articles out there that you can read. And while the actual charge, it wasn't significant, it still left a huge imprint on my heart. And coming back and just reintegrating myself into society, I knew it was my life's mission to help others. While I can't do anything preventative per se, there is still that effect on the other end that's going to help you with your mindset so you don't have the imposter syndrome, or when it does come up and you feel that you're not adequate enough or you don't belong in that space, you're going to need someone like me who can tell you, yes, you do deserve a seat at the table. Yes, you can start a business. And I hate to really go stats really quick, but I will. So it is a proven stat that over 80% of incarcerated women, when they come out, they don't have job opportunities lined up. So those 80%, they're more likely to be successful with opening their own business and becoming entrepreneurs. That is a huge number. But I'm here to let you know that it is absolutely possible. So again, if you identify with that, and any listeners identify with that, or if you know you have a family member that identify with that, then they definitely want to make sure that they know that there are resources out there that will help them along the way. So I went over.
You're good.
But I'm passionate about it. So that's a little bit about, what I do within that direct vein of career values coaching and consulting firm.
That's awesome. And it's like, and I'm glad you're never going overboard here on this platform, because that's what it's all about. It's a conversation, and what you do is so unique because there aren't that many people tapping into that space. And I'm not saying like, a lot of people say, oh, your target audience, but a lot of times there are a group of people out here that people will never consider. Like for me, I love working with creatives. That's an untapped market because a lot of people don't, work with creatives when it comes down to entrepreneurship. They just let them create. And then you have some creators that just want to create, right? So it's like, it's all about a mindset shift. But for you to, take your story, which is so inspirational, by the way. I'm just like loving everything that you're talking about. I'm like, oh, okay. Hope she got a book out here. I'm ready to read the book, turn some pages. And
speaking into fruition, Sacha.
Right.
That's next.
Do your Audible because people like me, I'll go to Audible fast and flip pages. But it's very inspirational, and like I said, it's like one thing I love about the guest that comes on the show is the alignment. Like I can just have this like very good conversation during this interview process because I have an opportunity coming up where I'm going to be talking to a group of inmates about business.
Wow.
Yeah. And this month,
Love it.
Yeah. So opportunity came up and I was just like, you never know what's going to pull on your heartstrings. And if you are a type of person, and I'm going to say this out here to anybody who's listening as well, if you're a type of person in business, like the greatest thing that you could ever do is create impact. Yes, it's about sales. Yes, you want to make the money. Yes, it's all those things. It's cool. But the greatest thing is impact. And sometimes you have to be able to allow your heart to lead you to be that heart-centered business owner that can say, you know what, no, I'm going to go. If somebody puts out a call for oh, some business owners come and participate in this networking event that's going to be at somebody's jail, are you going to raise your hand to do that and be there? You know,
Right.
the person may never be a client, but you're imparting into them, you're impacting their lives. So I love the fact that you are doing that with your career and entrepreneurship coaching, consulting services, because that is a group of women that you can tap into to say, you know what, let's do this. And I got you 100%. And this is why, because you understand what they're going through. You know,
Absolutely.
so I really love that about you, and what you're doing. So thank you for that. So I was ask you this question, like, as far as like the women that you have worked with, how hard has it been to like shift their mindset to really kind of get out of that, woe is me, why did I do it, to, oh, I can become this person?
Great question. Great question. I think it's a daily thing. And me as a coach, sometimes the shift, it may not happen, but the thought, just the budding thought, if that can be that exposure that woman needs to hear, then I feel I've done my job. It's really difficult when you go through a lot of adversity and you come out on the other side and you're still positive, or you find a way to tap into positivity. That's a very difficult thing. Just going through anything, just setting incarceration to the side. We all go through triggers and traumas. You know, it's the inevitable. It's gonna happen. And nobody is immune to life. So because of that, we really do have to ask that question. Well, do we want to go through life and have our heart turn cold to every situation? Or do we want to be open and just really provide that space of forgiveness and compassion? And that is what I try my absolute hardest to instill into my students, to instill into my clients, to instill into my own family. So anyone that comes into my presence, you know, it's gonna be either you like the positivity and the motivation or you don't. I've come to find at this point in my career, there is no down the middle. There's no gray area, because you're gonna have that. You're gonna have people who's like, why is she so excited about this? She went through this in life. She didn't get this far. What does she have to be happy about? And then you're gonna have on the opposite side, wow, that's a testimony. So I absolutely do my very best to stick beside those people who want it, because no one can make up your mind. You have to do it. You're in control. You are responsible of how your mind is going to shift. It all goes back to mindset. There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. And I'll be transparent. For years, I definitely operated on a fixed mindset. It was a lot of just, well, this is how life is. Nothing's gonna change. So I guess this is the way it's gonna be. And once I started to adapt to looking at things as a measurement of growth and say, okay, well, you know, I did have to do a little bit more to get that job. I did have to provide a letter of explanation. I did have to go through a lot more than a normal candidate for this role, but there was growth in there because now every time I tell my story, I don't have my head down. I have my head and my chin up high. And if I can do that, then I can certainly go in and inspire other people to do just that. And what I find with a lot of my clients, they just need a listening ear. They need someone to listen that can explain, well, this is what I'm going through, this is what's happening. Oftentimes, my clients, they're not coming to me for just this sound advice, because honestly, as a career coach, that's not my job to give advice.
Mm-hmm.
I will listen, and then I will also give a professional response or a suggestion, but it's not about advice. And that's the clinical side of me. But within that direct vein, it's definitely something that, it's ebb and flow. So I do watch my clients come in and they're like, yes, I'm so excited. And then they have that thought that just kind of keeps picking at them that they can't do it, they can't do it. But I remain the same. I let them know that my door is always open. If you need to pivot and come back when you're ready, make sure you do that. Or if I ignited something in you where maybe you want to find a coach that can give you a little more, a little less, whatever it is, at least the thought process is there. And I celebrate that as a win, whether you come to stay or whether you come short and then exit, it's perfectly fine. It's still a win.
Yeah. I love that when you say it's still a win, and that's a great mindset to have, because in that way they always know they could come back regardless. And that's what you want people to really feel. So if anybody is watching out there and they have been in that position of, being impacted by justice impacted.
Yes.
Impacted individuals, primarily women. And if they're out there and they're still battling that, so what would be like your top 5 tips to these women who may be watching, or even men or people who have family members that they can use some of this wisdom here?
Yes. So top 5 tips. I would say do not strive for perfection, only progress. It's very important. Second, remain transparent. Third, always lead with authenticity, because you don't want to have this mask on of someone that you're not. That could get very exhausting. Fourth is going back to what I just touched on, which is making sure that it's actually, I have it as a part of presentations about knowing your roots, which is how to overcome obstacles, how to overcome objections, and how you're going to lead to success. So it's a COIN acronym that I created, but I need to get it trademarked. But definitely overcoming that and just really knowing and valuing your roots. And I would say the fifth thing would be the only way to live in freedom is to not hold on to fear.
Wow, that's awesome. To live in freedom is not to hold on to fear. That is I love that. That is awesome. So I hope that everyone is out there watching, that you're taking notes or just hit replay or just keep watching. Anything you miss, you can just watch over and over, but or listen over and over. Just drag that bar and put it back to where you need to put it. But that's so awesome. I love that. Now you do have an event coming up, a boot camp.
Yes.
So let's talk about this
Yes.
boot camp you got coming up.
Yes, I'm so excited about this. So I just completed a entrepreneurial training class where I was the lead instructor or lead coach, where I served justice impacted women, and it was contracted through a company called Leap for Ladies. I want to give them their plug because they're another added resource. So again, for me right now, it's me and one other employee. So I may not have the exact manpower to serve a lot of women, but there are so many resources out there. And that led me to go ahead and start putting into production a 3-day entrepreneurial training boot camp. So this is going to give you all the tidbits, all the goodies on how you can create a business plan. That is the root foundation of what any small business owner or entrepreneur, they're going to have that. They're going to have to walk away from any presentation that has small business in it. If you don't walk away with a business plan, then I need you to double back and really reevaluate, what you're spending your time and your energy and sometimes your money on.
Yeah.
So there is going to be a boot camp. It's going to take place towards the end of September, early October. And I ask that everyone please watch my social media handle. You can find me quite easily. It's at Career Coach Tip, and I'm on everything you can think of, from IG to TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. Very simple, but I want you guys to follow me there so that you can, one, get the solidified date and all the details. This will be delivered in a group format, and honestly, that's where I do my best work. I value those one-on-one individualized conversations, but I know to reach the masses and to make sure that it's impactful, we got to lean in and hear other perspectives. So that is why this is going to be a group event, but I'm definitely going to post those dates soon. So make sure you follow me.
Awesome. Make sure you follow her. I have her link tree right here. She's also giving out her social media handles. Definitely follow Coach Tip, because you definitely want to connect with her, the things that she's doing. And I love the fact that you talked about business plans. I preach that all the time. And so many people just like, they skip that. I'm like, you can't skip that. So it's good that you're incorporating that. And that's the foundation of what you're, teaching. And I love that. And so you guys, make sure you connect with her, stay in touch with her, follow her, get ready to be a part of that boot camp, because I know it's going to be extraordinary. 3 days. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I know you're going to get some good things out of it. So is there any last final words you would like to leave the people before we leave tonight?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the first thing would be, again, I have to reiterate, Sacha, thank you so much. You are literally, we got soul ties now. We're soul sisters. And I just really appreciate the space. I appreciate the opportunity. And again, I just hope that everyone is really looking at things as far as being compassionate, being resourceful, helping others. And if you don't learn anything else on this Thursday evening, just learn to be very compassionate to those who may need you, because you never know what someone is going through. And if you just offer them a little bit of kindness or that listening ear, it can change the complete trajectory of what they're going through. So just be kind.
Awesome, awesome. And thank you for sharing your time with us tonight and all your wisdom and everything, your inspiration. I just know that you're going to continuously grow and do amazing things. Every day is going to be a great day. I just know it. And so, and to you guys out there, thank you for watching. And I will tell you this: make sure you command your day in everything you do and be great. And until next time, you guys, I'll see you with another guest. Bye.
See ya.